Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm very glad to be here to have this opportunity to discuss such an important issue with all of you to improve the gender diversity of STEM. And today, I'd like to introduce the status of China's female research and development personnel and also our promotion policies. And I think it's very interesting because yesterday afternoon, Professor Chen Jin from our Tsinghua University gave a very wonderful presentation. And I found we used the similar data, but we got different conclusions. So I think about that. I think it's because we are from different perspectives. He's a gentleman from a male scientist view. He thinks the situation is not bad, and even to some extent good enough. But from my opinion, from the female's perspective, I think we can see the situation is not so bad, but I think it's far from good enough. So, and I believe the difference of opinion doesn't just exist between our two presentations. That's, I believe it's a very popular phenomenon in China. I believe most of the male scientists and also some of the decision makers may stand on his side, but most of the female scientists, I believe them, we will stand on my side. So that's a difference. That's why we need to do more work. Today, my presentation I hope to give the situation based on the statistical data from the education, the employment, and also the development, and then introduce the policies. But firstly, I'd like to give my key points, 2 key points. The firstly is to take into account of the policy package. I want to explain that from this figure. I think when we talk about the gender diversity in STEM, we discuss it in 2 sides. One is from the human resources. We hope we have more girls with well-educated in STEM, and then they can get more jobs related to research and development. And also they can make better contribution to the development of science and technology, and also the development of our economy and the society. That's true. We have to do that step by step. Firstly, we have to make the very solid foundation of the human resources. But on the other side, from the policy side, I don't think we need to wait for the steps. We must take into account all of the policy together because they are integrated together. For example, the policy for career development have direct influence on the policy of employment, and also direct influence on the girls' inspiration for science and technology. So I think that's one of my key points. We need the policy package. And I'm very glad to learn from our summit. And there are many countries have the policy package. And my second key point is that we have to recognize the biological difference between men and women. I think yesterday we have a lot of talk about that. And when we make the policies, we have to think about the difference. and to take advantage of the characteristics of women, so the policy can be more effective. So that's my 2 key points. Then let's go to the data. First, about the education. This figure, I give the proportions of female students in China for different education stages. And from this figure, we can see that gender difference from primary school to graduate, that means for master degree students, has been insignificant. Since 2009, the proportion of women in undergraduate students and master's degree has reached 50% and increased year by year. But during doctor's degree, the proportion of female students is much lower, but still not so bad. Since 2006, has gradually increased to more than 1/3. So I don't think the problem in education period is very serious if we think we are talking about the gender equality. I totally agree with Professor Chen Jin that why we have such phenomenon. Because on the average level, our girls always are more hardworking. They focus more on study, so they can get higher scores. And you know, the entrance examination is very important in China for they want to go to the higher education level, and the very important indicator for enrollment is the score. So I think that's why. But I think our education have some problems, especially for how to improve the real interest of the students on STEM, including boys and also girls. So that's another topic. But if we look at the employment, I think the situation is not so good. And as for employment, China's female R&D personnel amounted to 1.25 million in 2013, accounting for nearly 1/4 of the national total. And there are significant differences in the proportion of female R&D personnel in different organizations, different industry, and different disciplines. Female R&D personnel only account for approximately 1/5 in enterprises, totally 1/4. And the figure varies from industry to industry, with medicine industry at the top with over 1/3, and the mining and washing of coal at the bottom with less than 1/10. So I think we have to think about that. That's why. I think that's because of our, to some extent, the biological difference. And also our society opinion of what are the suitable work for girls to be involved in. And the universities have the largest ratio of female R&D personnel, with a proportion reaching almost 40%. And where social sciences and humanities is with nearly half, while natural sciences has less than 1/3. And in research institutes, female R&D personnel account for about 1/3, also with remarkable difference by academic discipline. Over 15 in medical science. That's also very interesting, and also it's the same conclusion with the above presentations. 41% in humanity and social sciences, and less than 1/3 in engineering sciences. And then let's go to the career development. I'd like to show you the situation from two perspectives. One is from the high level and the deeper level reflected by CAS and the CAE members. You know, Chinese Academy of Sciences, we call it CAS, and the Chinese Academy of Engineering, CAE, are the highest advisory academic authority in China, and their members are be thought as the highest academic title in China. However, there are very low proportions of female members. Also in 2013, we can see from the table, there were only 43 female CAS members, less than 6% of the total 750. And just 39 CAE members, accounting for less than 5% of the total more than 800. And let's look at their contribution of the female scientists. According to the National Science and Technology Award, we have 3 major Science and Technology Awards, which covers natural sciences and technical invention and also science and technology progress. According to the statistic data, the percentage of female award winners as principal researcher only contribute at 6.7%. And we also have the highest Science and Technology Award in China. It is launched in 2000, and we call that National Top Science and Technology Award. From the past 15 years, we have 25 winners. None of them is female. So I think we can't say the situation is good enough. To some extent, it's bad. And finally, I'd like to go through the policies very quickly about our policy. I think that's a good news, because our government has given attention to the problem and has formulated relative policies, including this document. It is called the Opinion on Strengthening the Building of Female Science and Technology Team. And this document is issued jointly by the Ministry of Science and Technology and also the All China Women's Federation in 2011. I used to work in the Department of Policy and Regulation in Ministry of Science and Technology, and we are responsible for drafting this document. The document has 10 items. First is to fully understand the significance of building a strong female science and technology team, and then to develop interest of female students in STEM, and third, increase employment opportunities for women in science and technology. Fourth, strengthen continued education and knowledge update for female scientists and engineers. And fifth, develop innovative female research and development talents. And sixth, to promote involvement of female scientists and engineers in science and technology management, and also the consulting for major science and technology policy. I think that's very important. And seventh, provide support for female scientists and engineers during their pregnancy and breastfeeding period. And eighth, to increase incentives and guarantee for female scientists and engineers. And ninth, to center statistics and evaluation of female science and technology human resources. Thanks for that policy, I can get the data for the research and development personnel for male, female. And 10th, foster a good environment for the development of female science and the scientists and the engineers team. And I think the document is very important because it's a package of the policies and addresses specifically the development, employment, and also education of female science and technology workforce. And it is also very important to guide relevant government departments and all social sectors to give attention and support to the development of female scientists and engineers. However, I don't like to say the however, but have to say however. However, the good policies lead better implementation. At this time, I don't think we have very good implementation of all the policies because most of them are not mandatory. So next, I think we need to do more to enforce the implementation of the policies. And I also think compared with other countries, including Korea, Japan, and other EU and other countries, we are lack of a special program for funding research and development activities conducted by female as principal researcher. So I think we need to more. Thank you for your attention. That's my presentation.